and then I didn't film nothing there because nothing really happens there. But I'm about to get my hair done. I'm going to my cousin's, and yeah, get again a new color, new everything. So you'll see. Yeah, hopefully maybe you'll get to see her in this vlog a little bit. But I know I was gonna vlog much today, so I'll see you guys inside.
A few moments later.
Hey everyone, so I'm back. Yeah, my hair is different and everything, but I didn't really film there because my cousin was doing a lot of stuff. So maybe next time you'll see her in a vlog or two, hopefully. But tomorrow, by the time you see this, it's Sunday, and tomorrow I'm going to an event in HUM it's an Afro-Caribbean event that has a lot of entrepreneurs, all that kind of stuff. Yeah, I'm thinking about what I'm doing tomorrow too, so it's like a full day. So it's from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. I'll put the flyer somewhere around here, and yeah, I'm to let you know how well it went, because I don't know if I can tape. I can try and get as much footage on my phone as possible, but we'll see. Or I might try and get as much footage on my camera as possible, but we'll see again. So yeah, hopefully you guys like the video so far. You saw my face, and you see nothing else. I'm home right now because it's dark, and I was with my cousin and spent time with family, all that kind of stuff. So yeah, hopefully you guys like this so far, and I'll see you guys
tomorrow.
Hey everyone, so I'm back, and I was getting ready for this event. So right now I have on my siren sweater with my Urban Planet jeans, and soon I have my Timbs on, and of course my hair done by Sim Styles. Yeah, I'm also wearing Fenty Beauty lip gloss, the Fenty Glow, the gloss bomb. So yeah, I'm just waiting for a ride because I know I'm gonna be late for this event, and so like yeah, this is what we're doing now. Yeah, it's time. So I'm hoping that you guys will like this little mini vlog I'm putting out on Sunday, and just something for you guys.
I'm proud to join you today on behalf of Andrew Horvath
and also joining forces. So everybody that raised your hand earlier when Charles was asking, have you started a business or are you running a business? We now have to look at each other in the room and figure out how we can either joint venture or amplify each other's efforts and really take this to the next level.
And the great thing, we're really entrepreneurs for entrepreneurs. Like Ryan said, running a company. Myself, I just recently opened a co-working space in Brampton called Empowered for X, where it's really to create a space where we can bring our community members together to support the entrepreneurial things. And through ACBN, we've been able to connect with many entrepreneurs. And beside me is KKMA.
Business Building Workshop.
ACBN is important to the community because a lot of Black businesses have questions, and we need resources and we need support that we can't get in other areas, such as from the government or from some of the organizations that are around to support small businesses. We have unique needs and we have unique challenges, and an organization like ACBN can address some of those challenges from our perspective.
As a business owner, it's so important to have a community of other like-minded people to support you and help you grow. ACBN does that. It brings together individuals from African descent and Caribbean descent and business owners who are passionate about what they're doing to make a positive difference in the world. We're all about connecting those individuals, building business capacity with them, and helping them to grow their business in a sustainable way.
Since I've been a member of the ACBN, I would definitely say my business has doubled through the connections that I've made, as well as a lot of the information that I've learned through the mastermind, which I am completely in love with. I've learned so much, and just about my target client and who my ideal client would be. Things like that have been able to help me narrow down my marketing, and who I'm marketing to is now also helping drive business.
this network is not like many other networks. In fact, there's not really many organizations in the city that are actually fulfilling the sort of demand that the ACBN is. It's actually connecting hundreds, if not thousands, of people within our community across the Greater Toronto area. And it's also doing a lot in order to mentor a lot of the youth and usher in a whole next generation of entrepreneurs.
We are connecting the dots. We'll be able to partner with organizations that are doing great work in the community to help get us a voice at the table. And once we have this voice at the table, we need to move with one message. And when we have a strong enough message, that's going to come with more respect. And that respect is going to get us opportunities. So now your business needs to be ready for these opportunities. And that's why we're coming here together to make sure to work together to work on your business.
He has an interesting entrepreneurship journey to share about the gig economy. Beside him, Camille Dundas is a powerhouse entrepreneur. Powerhouse, humble though. She's founded 2 businesses with her husband, the publicity firm Convo Media Group. Look it up if you need some PR. And has anybody heard of BuyBlacks.com? Clap if you have. Yes, it is ranked the #1 Black online magazine in Canada. She spent 10 years working as a journalist in TV, and in 2017 she took a leap into tech, and she's a consultant with Hootsuite. Round of applause for Camille. Last but not least, first time I'm meeting him today, Mr. Sefton Spence. 30 years of distinguished performance in construction and remodeling. He has a background in architecture and design. And for any of you who watched a lot of TV, you know, some classic Canadian television, he was part of remodeling churches for the hit show Divine Restorations, right? And he has also done some incredible work with the province of Ontario, and he, I hope, will tell us about his current project in St. Lucia. All right. So these are our panelists, and I'd like to begin the conversation. I've told you a little bit about what they do, but I think the more important question is why? Why did you decide to start your business? Camille.
So I'll start with By Blacks. And by the way, I am what you call an intrapreneur. I'm not trying to get rid of my 9 to 5, just so my employer knows. Thanks for that, Carl. And so my husband and I started BuyBlacks.com because we wanted, and as Em mentioned, I spent 10 years working in television news, so I had a front row seat to how our community is covered in mainstream news. And for me, it was either, it's 2 extremes, right? We're either, you know, the bad guys on TV, or we're Oprah, you know, like we're either really amazing or just not. And that wasn't our experience. We know a whole bunch of people in that middle who are doing amazing things with their lives, with their starting businesses and nonprofits and companies, who otherwise would never get mainstream news coverage for whatever reason. So we said we're going to create a space that is dedicated to Black Canadian, Black excellence. We knew there were so many outlets for, you know, I feel like Black Canadians, when they want to see themselves positively reflected, we will go to American outlets, and that's what we had. And so we wanted to create something that was distinctly Canadian and distinctly focused on us. And so that's what we've done. And what we're doing through that platform is normalizing Black success and normalizing Black excellence. So now you see—
I was about to say, can we clap for that? If you're not following BuyBlacks.com, please do.
Thank you, I appreciate that, Em. And so then the more stories you see of Black people in positions of power, the less surprised you'll be when you walk into a room and that person is your boss, or that person is the decision maker, the less likely you'll be to walk past them and shake the hand of the white junior person who's in the room, which has happened to me and probably half the people in here. So that's our goal with By Blacks.
Amazing. We're going to come back to your other business in a minute, but I love that you talk about necessity being the mother of invention and the power of story. That's what I heard. It's how powerful media can be. Sefton, you've been in business for 30 years. Why did you decide to do what you do?
I was about 12 years old when my Sunday school teacher that had no boy children slapped me in my leg and said, "Boy, come with me." And that's where it started. He went to Durham College. He did some drafting, He was doing renovations, and I became his apprentice, his son, his tag along, whatever it went from there. And one day he gave me a package, and inside the package was whole things to become an architect, to be a drawer. So that was it. From there, I was studying to be an architect, landscape architect. Every degree that I could get, I would jump in, get it done, and from there, it just led from one thing to another. Building churches and schools in undeveloped countries or up-and-coming countries. So I was able to travel. The only continent I haven't been on is Antarctica, and I don't want to go there. But I've been able to be a part of so many different, rather TV shows, programs throughout the States, working with mega stars to just the regular person. And that's how that began. But it also stirred something within me. I moved from just doing excellent work to helping others. Always give back. You learn that from back home. We're Caribbean people. Your mothers always say, take this bread down the street to drop off with this person. Go help this person. And that never stopped. So from there, we started reaching out. So at Christmas time, we drop up probably about 250 boxes of food to different homes. We come in 3 or 4 times a year and surprise a homeowner and says, we renovate. While the mother's gone, the father's gone, we sneak in, get it all done, and we're gone. We don't want nobody to know.
So it's not just about building for profit, it's about building really a legacy where you can share it with others.
Yeah.
Beautiful. We're going to come back to that. MC Ebone, you shared this a little bit, but what is it that made you decide that you wanted to be a voice and share it with other people? Because there's a lot of people who are just happy, I can just do my thing, make my money, but you're really deciding to amplify your voice on behalf of a whole generation, a whole culture, a whole community. Why?
Mic check on, there we go. There we go. So when I used to go to school here, I started 2009 and then 2012 when I finished, but I had the blessed opportunity of working with the Sheridan Brewers on the mic. Now, in this journey, sometimes, like in the beginning, I had to work for free. So when I started working for free, I realized this is what I actually loved, and what I was doing in school, like I hated the assignments, even though I was getting it done. I was like, I'm not really feeling this, but when I was on the mic over there, I felt the love and I saw the energy. Like I'll see the players come up and how like they'll be like, yo, you just made my day. Like you shot. And I was like, yeah, really from that? So I talked to one of the head coaches, Jim Flack, and he said, son, you're very talented, you have a voice, and I think if you really take this serious and tap in, you could change a whole, like he literally said, you could change and be the voice of Africa, because back in the day, it wasn't really cool to be African. So like, like nowadays, it's true. Back in the days, it wasn't really, if you're African, it was like, ooh, So I was always letting it be known that I was African. So when he had that conversation with me, I kind of like went on, I didn't even think I went on Google. I just typed in MC and Master of Ceremonies came up. So when I realized this was a real job, I'm like, oh my goodness, if I really tap in, I could do something dangerous. And I didn't know where I would take it, but I'm like, if I give this a try and put my all in, I don't know where it'll take me. And thank God I actually did that to be where I am right now.
Some big things you've been doing. What is one piece of money advice, practical money advice, that you would give everyone in this room?
Oh, good Lord. Don't let it run ahead of you. And that's it.
Elaborate a little bit. What do you mean?
Meaning that there are times when the accounts and the growth of the business is coming up. So you started off, came back to Canada, couldn't work for the Canadian government overseas anymore. What was I going to do? So I said, okay, I have a degree, I have this, I have that, let me start a business. So I said, okay, Kitty Cubby, that's where I started. I built daycares for the Canadian government, for Bob Ray's government, all over the place, Tropicana, this, that, everywhere. The checks started coming in. Wow, look at all that money in the bank. You spend it? Heck yeah. And after spending it, then I don't have money to grow. valuable lesson, very crucial, came and slapped me so hard because right after that somebody came and said, can you do this? And I had nothing prepared. So, you know, you go with mommy, let me on this house. And she looks at you and say, are you stupid? What, you want me to mortgage the house? I have to go and talk to your father about that. You know what I mean? But that is how it was. I'm a Canadian inventor. So I have about 6 or 7 inventions. Went to the bank. You have no collateral, you have nothing. You couldn't get the money. So I had to wait for my next big job, and that's when I learned my lesson on how to start saving.
Fantastic example. Thank you. Camille.
What I would say is, I know this is an unexpected answer, but it's the truthful one because it's something that I'm still working through, is to evaluate your emotional trauma to money, to how you deal with money. And when I say that, is examine, money I think is an emotion, right? It's a real thing, but the way that we deal with it is completely 100% tied to our emotions. So I have to actively fight against a scarcity mentality because I grew up with the fear of not having money. And I grew up in a house where I had to hide any money that I made. You know, it was, and so you don't realize how that carries with you in your adulthood and how, like, you know, closed off you are, how risk averse you are. It affects really all aspects of your emotion to how money comes in and how it goes out. So, like, actually, I'm telling you to go to a counselor for this. Like, either do that or speak with somebody who's close to you and talk out, like, how you came to develop your spending habits and walk through that.
That was deeper than some of you were ready for.
I know. I gave you a warning, right? I gave you a warning. Yeah.
Money mindset, growth mindset, but you're talking about habits and culture, really, and upbringing. Okay.
My thing would be just keeping it real with yourself and knowing the difference between needs and wants. And the big thing is your priorities. What are your priorities? I feel like if you break that out on a piece of paper, you're able to break it down. Like, if you know you can't buy something 3 times, you probably can't afford it. Like, it may be, it goes back to what you were saying, sometimes we have this emotional attached to stuff because of what we've been through, and we feel like, oh, maybe we need to take this vacation to get my mind right, but it's maybe you need to pick up a book and read and educate yourself to really break it down. I'm reading it down.
Great advice. A bit about why you do what you do, how you figured out who needed your services. I want to ask you, how did you know how to structure your businesses? You know, because there's many different ways to arrange yourselves to make a profit, but not everybody does it successfully, and also how to sustain a business. So I'm going to start with Sefton. How did you know how to structure your business to succeed?
That takes time. And it takes a long time. As we heard MC here was speaking earlier, he said it's a journey. It really is a journey, the structure, because it's trial and error each step of the way. Especially when you don't go to classes, especially when you don't have somebody that reaches out to you. Like now, there are tons of mentors. I'm a mentor. But back then, there was no mentor. There wasn't somebody that you go sit down and talk about it, worrying about it. You know, the mentality was different. The look was different. So trial and error is what really helped me. And then meeting with other people that were at the top of their game. Listening to them, listening to how they got there, listening to how they developed. And just, you know, I think for me it's just listening skills and just learning as I went along.
Before we go to Camille to answer that, I just don't want to lose the point. Any quick advice on how to approach someone who is at the top of their game and asking them to share a mentoring moment with you, to give you a bit of advice? Because sometimes people want to get to people like you, and it's like you have a zillion people coming to you. Is there something that you can say about how to make that approach most effective?
I just went to them. That was the difference. I went to them, I told them what I was looking for before I asked. I said, this is the situation I'm in. I would like to learn more, and I would like you to, if you have the time, if you could sit down with me and explain.
Camille?
Yeah, I would jump off that as well, and I would say to I do a lot of mentoring, both formally and informally, and I would say if you start off by telling the person what you like about what they do and how that is relatable to what you do, they'll be more inclined to want to help you. I'm going to channel my husband here because he is the one who actually sets up the structures of our businesses, and that is the first step, is knowing your strengths.
Yes.
Not mine. He's a former accountant. I don't know honestly where our business would be if he didn't structure them the way that he did. Because I'm the one to be like, let's start a t-shirt line. Let's sell this. Like, we should. And then my son is like, how come you don't have t-shirts for kids? I'm like, let's start a kids line. And he's like, hold the phone, please, girl, stop, right? If it was left up to me, I would be doing something different every day, because that's how my mind works. I'm a creative, but he's like very, very controlled person, and you need that balance. So if that's not in you, and you don't have a partner when you're in business, or a spouse, etc., again, you need to find that person, whether they're in real life or online. And what I would caution against is repeating other people's structures and thinking that they are right for you. It's okay to try them on for size, but don't beat yourself up if that person's structure does not work for you.
Before we go to Ebone, quickly, what is the magic ingredient to working with a family member? You mentioned your husband. Wow, she exhaled.
So much patience, number one, which is very difficult for me because I am a highly sensitive person, HSPA. You recently found out there's a name for it. So I'm very emotional. I take everything very personally. And my husband is the opposite. He can be extremely cut and dry. And because we are married and started our businesses at the same time, it almost feels like the businesses are part of our marriage. Mm-hmm. And they're not. And so for me to even step away from one of the parts of the businesses, which I recently did, was very emotional for me. But he was like, okay, cool. Yeah, I see that. Yeah, you're doing too much. Yeah, sure. But I was before I came to him, I was in tears. I was like, what's he gonna feel like? I feel like we're losing part of our relationship. And he was like, chill. So if you're working with a spouse or even a friend, in fact, I would actually guard against going in business with friends. Your spouse is a different thing. He can't go nowhere. Or it's much harder for him to go somewhere. But with friends, I honestly would think twice about going to business with friends. That's just a tip. But yeah, if you're in business with someone who you have an outside relationship with, a personal relationship with, try very hard not to take the business decisions personally.
Ebone, how did you figure out how to structure your business so that you could actually make money, you could forecast, you knew that you could sustain yourself?
So when I started to do this MC thing, I had to it really goes back to educating myself. I had to really ask myself, who is out there doing what I want to do or where I want to be. Let me try to figure this out. So when it was in Toronto, we had Cabby, we had T-Rex, Mr. One Love T.O., and we had Akio Augustine. Now I knew none of them, but they were online. At that time it was Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram just started. So I started to just monitor these guys. I was literally just watching and investigating. So if Cabby did something like this, I'll be like, okay, I gotta screenshot this, I gotta write and figure out why. If T-Rex did something like this, then I gotta figure out why he's doing that. And if Akil's doing something, I gotta figure out. And now, to this day, we're all good friends, and they actually laugh because I talk about it. It's in this journey, if there's no risk, there's no reward.
Yes.
And you really just gotta really go back. And that goes back to the Barack Obama. It was the event was coming up, and the Sunday, the week of the event, I realized I emailed these guys, I did everything correct, and nobody has reached back. I made the right phone calls. I'm seeing flyers come out. There's nothing more I could do. I literally went on Instagram. I seen somebody tag them, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I have no choice. I DM'd the president of Economic Club of Canada, and she hit me back right away. And I was like, oh my goodness. And we started with a dialogue. And if I didn't educate myself or learn from these guys who told me, like Cabby said, before he got on TSN, he literally just asked them, I want my own show. and that's how we got it. It's like, sometimes it's very simple. We make it seem like it's so hard, but it's just very, very simple. We tap in and learn from the others that are doing exactly what we want to do.
Oh, for sure.
What I love about that story as well is I think it has two important takeaways. One is that you don't necessarily have to have a personal relationship or an actual mentoring touch point to learn from someone. You can follow their journey online and still take notes.
100%.
Right? So you can still learn about their successes, and in some cases, I'm sure what hasn't worked. And the second part is the people that you are watching became your colleagues, because sometimes we see people purely as competition.
So imagine, folks, 33 years later, that's a third of a century later, we still haven't made much progress. In fact, I don't know if you realize this, but out of the top 500 revenue-generating companies in Canada right now, did you know 109 of them don't have a single woman on their board of directors? Who knows that? Raise your hand. Okay, who didn't know that? A lot of people, yeah, look at all the hands go up. Our Prime Minister Trudeau was talking about having a balanced cabinet and so on. But did you know that currently there's only 27% of the House of Commons representatives? Positions are held by women, and that's the highest in the history of Canada. And also we rank 63rd globally, falling behind Rwanda, Mexico, Afghanistan, and South Sudan in terms of representation of women in our parliament. How does that sound? Not so good, eh? 63rd. Here's some interesting statistics here. This shows you that visible minorities, by the way, only 14% in our national parliament. But I find this very interesting when you look at the job codes, occupation codes, that thing that's circled there, that is the percentage of black people in senior leadership roles. 1,710 people. We could almost count them on our hands here in this group, across Canada, according to Stats Canada 2016. That's 0.91, less than 1% of these positions are held by visible minorities, by blacks. You see visible minorities there, 11.4. So that's an interesting stat. What does it tell you? It tells you that we're not making a lot of progress in terms of representation side. What's it called when you keep trying to do the same thing over and over and expecting different results? Right. So our company at Walmart, we're doing some really good stuff. I'm not really here to promote Walmart. We've increased the percentage of female store managers over the last 5 years by 100%. We had 38, we now have 110 women managing stores, and they're all doing very well. So we're focusing on that because women are an integral part of our business. But many other companies are kind of struggling and not really too sure how to approach this. So I say it's time to start driving the economy and stop driving Ubers. Okay, that's for our black community and for immigrants. We hear about new Canadians coming, 2-3 degrees, technology from Nigeria, railroad ties, black business profile. We all heard the stories. And interestingly, what's happening now is our underrepresented groups are realizing, maybe I don't want to get into that company, and if you do, you're kind of stuck at a kind of junior level. Yeah, you got 3 degrees and you can do the PowerPoint where the things go round and round, and then the leadership is very excited by that, but you're just kind of stuck in those roles. We're not having the progression. Many people are now saying, you know, maybe it's time for me to start my own business.
Hey everyone, so I'm back home actually. I had a great time at the event. I met a lot of people that really inspired and drove my mindset a lot more. I learned a lot. It was inspiring. As you can see, the short clips in the event, it was actually very fun. I met a lot of new people, connected with a lot of new people as well. And it's just awesome to support these types of initiatives that help with the community. So it's like I'd rather put my money in this than in just a concert for like a one-time thing. But that's my little vlog from my 2 days, all kind of stuff. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you guys like the video. You can comment down below what you want to see next. Share with your friends. Subscribe to my channel. Do a whole 9. And all else, just love one another. Support one another. Don't stomp on nobody, because we have no time for that. So I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.